Right, Tuesday, we are back in Rodley. John's going round with the laser, Adam's going to cut and drill the steel. We've obviously been put down into the lockdown last night, so it's affected things quite dramatically, but we're still at work. What I'll do now, I'll go around and show you. I'll go around and show you John using the laser and Adam using the steel, and show you how we're going to level off these nuts and lock them off. And then what we'll do, we'll get a chainsaw out and cut the 4x3s and sit them in place once the steel shoes. So what I'll do then, I'll show you how we're going to cut the 4x3s as well. Okay, so this is the laser we're using. It's a self-leveling laser. It's a Spectra Precision. So what will happen with that, you put it on the tripod, you'll drop it down, it will self-level itself and it will start to spin. You can see it's firing a laser line around there now. So John over here now has got the staff. The staff has got the laser finder on it. It's already been set to height. He's found out that this point in the left-hand back corner is the highest point. So what he's done now, he's wound down them 2 nuts there. And then what he'll do is put his staff on there now and he'll bring other nuts up to meet. Just show you this now. So what he'll do now, he's going to wind down them nuts because he knows he needs to be practically near the bottom, and then when he gets his staff on there, it will beep when the laser tells him he's level, and then he'll lock the 2 nuts off. What, John? Adam's using the Evolution mag drill. It's got a 25mm rotor broach cutter in it, and we're using this cutting oil which helps see it cut through. It drills a 25mm hole in the steel there. Obviously there's a lot of burrs and crap up like that, so as you can see he's got gloves on and he's got glasses on, which he needs. That there sometimes pops out, other times you'll have to pop it out with a screwdriver, which is the insert from there, which he's then cut out. What he will then use is the Evolution metal cutting chop saw and cut them to 150. He's already marked them at 150, as you can see that. So we'll drop back on John there. Just give us a minute, Adam. We'll drop back on John there. You can see he's using the laser finder. That'll beep. Solid. I don't know if let's have a look so you can see it. With me, John. Yep. So you can see the line there now. He knows that's level, so what he'll do now, he'll wind up that bottom nut to meet the top nut and he'll lock them off against each other. Right, they've cut all the shoes. John's locked off all the nuts. We're using this pressure treated 4x3. It's been in the vac, it's been treated. So what we're going to do, we're going to put it next to the rods. I've transferred the line there for the centre. I've found the centre as well. So I've marked all them rods there, look. What I'm going to do now, Adam and Multi are going to lift this up now. We're going to use this Hikoki drill. It's got a 25mm DeWalt speed bit in. We used to use the what the hell's it? We used to use the drill, what's it called? Combi drill. We used to use the combi drill, but burnt a couple of them out, so we've opted for this. It's only like 100 quid or something like that, but it's a little beast of a machine. So what we will do, we will drill that through there. What I'm going to do when I drill it in, I'm going to go left and right a little bit, wiggle it about, just to make that hole slightly bigger. You can see there, I'm wiggling it around. That'll make that hole a little bit bigger than what it needs to be, which will aid it dropping on for us. Again, you just take the burrs off the bottom because when they sit in the shoe, they'll hold it off. Just push that extension lead Adam over a little bit. So there's your 5 holes. Make them a little bit bigger. What I'm going to do then, because when that sits down on there, what we want to wind the nut down. Obviously we don't want the nut to sit up because what it'll do then, it'll impede the floor. So what I'm going to do is chop a little bit out with this chainsaw. It's a Stihl MS170. Little beast of a machine again. what will happen now, we've cut them out, the nuts will wind down then, so what we'll do now, we'll offer this into place. So what they're going to do now is going to put the steel shoes on, which the timber will obviously sit in. You need to leave them off so when you're marking up, it just makes things a little bit easier. So like I said, we're going to look for the highest rod, which is that one, so we'll stick that one on first and then offer it down at them. There you go. Are you on, multi? And what we'll do then is just make sure all the shoes are in the right place, pop it down. There you go. So that's that one on, the back one's on. We'll do the sides now, and I'll show you us cutting the sides as well, and now we're going to fix them, and then we'll do the middle, and I'll show you how we're going to make around the manhole cover there, so we've got access to that as well. Right, so that's the front one in, that's the back one in. What they're going to do now is wind down the nuts just to trap that onto the steel there. So what I'm doing now, I'm putting the side timber on. You can see that there. So what I will do, I'll put that side timber on. I've marked it for drilling. I'll drill it, and then when it drops down, what I'll do then, I will then cut them off. Let me move that camera strap out of the way. What I'll do then, I'll then cut them off, and then we'll screw through there with some 250 screws. Yeah, so we put the sides on now, we've dropped them down, so obviously they need cutting off so that they'll drop down and flush, drop down so they're flush with them. What we're going to use them is these 250 screws, so if we put that in like that, obviously it's going to hit that rod. So what we're going to do, we're going to chop this one off there, and then we can drive that in there, and then I'll also nip that side off there. They're 250, they're galvanised, right little bit of kit, you're not going to snap them. Same with this one as well. I can't obviously screw a screw in there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to whip that off there, we'll screw a screw in, and what we'll have to do, we'll just have to dodge the rod with the 250 screws. So I'll cut them off, I'll show you how they go down. Obviously, I mean, the chainsaw, since we've got the chainsaw, we just use it constantly. It's a great little bit of kit. I think it retails at about 150 quid. For that price, it's a no-brainer. Starts every single time as well. Right, so what I'm going to do now, just drop that down like that. Like that, and then what I'll do then, cut them bits off there, and as I said, we will then get the 250mm screws, 250mm, and just tie 2 screws in there. It'll tie that corner together lovely. Same again over in this corner. What we'll do then, we will jump over there, we'll do that back side there, then we're going to put the centre one in, and I'll show you how we're going to form a little opening around this manhole as well. So there's the basic perimeter. It's 4x3, it's treated, it's sat on M24 zinc plated rods, they're concreted in the ground. We've got this steel channel there, it's 50 by 100 by 8mm, it's had a 25mm hole drilled in that as well. You've seen us do that, you've seen us cut them, you've seen us use these 250mm screws to tie the sides in and the corners. So what we've done over here, this is where his manhole is. So if you can imagine, this is his gym inside. Let's say in the future there's a problem with the drain, he'll have an access panel here in the floor, which he will lift off, and then the drain will still be able to rod to clean it if it ever needs be. And also we shuttered the holes as well, so here where my foot is where the drain runs. We've put a shutter in there, and then that steel concrete pile is there. There's no weight bearing down on there. We've tied all these in with screws. So what they're going to do now, they're going to use them 4x2s what are on the drive there. Don't know if John can see them. And then they're going to put the joists in. We're going to put them 400 spacings in between so we can drop our 400 insulation in. We'll also put some treated slate battens. Adam, remind me to get some slate battens over there. Some treated slate battens underneath, which will hold the insulation and stop it falling through as well. So that's what we're going to do. Me and Adam are going to nip off and get some more materials. And John and Michael are going to cut the 4x2s and get them in place. Right, so I've been round now and I've cut off the top of the threaded bar there. I've used this 9-inch angle grinder. So what you can see there, the nut's been wound down so it's lower than the timber, so when the floor goes over there it won't impede the floor. And what I'll do now is grind that top off there. So they've been round and ground them all off. This side's already had its 4x2 joists in. Joist hangers holding them in place, and twist nails, which I'll just show you now. Little twist nails, that's what holds the joist hangers on. So if it's sat on the shoe like that, what we'll do then is put some 250 screws through there, so because the joist hanger won't go on there. So we'll get all them in, and then we'll infill with 100mm rigid insulation. So all the joists, the 4x2 treated joists have gone in. They've gone in with joist hangers and fixed with twist nails. What they're doing now, they're cutting this 100mm foil backed rigid insulation, and they're going to drop them in the bays. Right. So you can see the slate battens there that we fit. There we go. And they've been spiked through some nails, so they'll support the insulation and stop the insulation falling down to the floor. And once we've done that, what we'll do then, we'll get the 22mm Erga Protect and start fitting that as well over the top. What we're doing now, we're putting down the Erga Protect floor, and it's 22mm thick. It's got a protective coating on both sides, and it's good for 6 weeks in all weathers. We're using polyurethane wood glue. It's a 5-minute wood glue, waterproof, and it expands as well. And we're also using 60mm screws, fix it down, and we're using impact drills, Makita DTD171. So what John's going to do now is gluing all the joints there, you can see. There you go. We'll put marks there so we know where the timbers are. And then we know where we're screwing. Right, so because it's 22mm, you don't have to join the joints on the timbers. You can just glue them and they'll become one board when it's fully glued. So like I said, you don't have to join them, you don't have to worry about joining them on the joists. You can just span the gaps. We've left that there. That's the cutout for the drain. So what we'll do with that, we'll put a new sealable manhole cover in, we'll insulate it, and then we'll put a little trap hole when we put the flooring down. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a block of wood and a lump hammer. Once it's glued, we'll drive them home with that. Obviously the wood protects the board from smashing. The lump hammer has enough power to send it into where it needs to go. John's going to glue it now. So like I say, John's going to use a lump hammer and a block of wood just to pop that home to where it needs to go. There you can see the joints closed up nicely on that. We'll get that screwed, and then we'll get his last piece down, and then that will be the full deck boarded and ready to wall tomorrow. Right, so that's the base completely finished. So we'll have a little recap of what we've done. We pinged out as lines. We dug us holes. There were 22mm holes. No, there weren't 22mm holes. So we dug us holes. There were 22 holes. They were 200 by 200 by 600 approximately. We had 5 at the front, 5 at the back, 4 down the middle, 4 at each end, and then we've created this access panel as well for the drain there. We used treated 4x3 round the edges, M24 bolts on the front. There you can see them lot. M24 bolts. We've used a steel shoe, 50 by 100 by 8mm, and then we've put in our joists, which were 4x2. They were treated. They're set on joist hangers, fixed with twist nails. Where we couldn't fix them, we dropped in 250mm screws, and then we put on this Erga Protect chipboard flooring. It's the best on the market. It's got a protective coating, and it's good for 6 weeks out in any weather. We've glued it with this polyurethane wood glue. It's waterproof glue. It's an expanding glue. What we'll do tomorrow when that's gone off, and it says 5 minutes, but not in this weather it ain't. So tomorrow we'll be able to scrape that off, and then tomorrow what we'll do is we'll get us back walls in, we'll get us side walls, we'll put us front wall in, and we'll put the steel in as well, and hopefully start on the roof depending on the weather. So if you'd like to like, subscribe, follow, and all the rest of it, leave some comments. That's good. I'll try and answer what I can when I can, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.